my game picks for the Final Four: Illinois, UConn. This is such a chess match, man, because Illinois has the opportunity here where they could just keep Boswell on the bench. They could go with the starting lineup of Stojakovic, Wagler, one of the Ivisic twins, Jake Davis, maybe both Ivisic twins, and Jake Davis, and just keep Boswell on the floor. And then all of a sudden, their shortest player is 6'6" Keaton Wagler against a UConn defense or UConn team, where its five could be Silas Demery, Solo Ball, Alex Caravan, and they got undersized guards matched up with Illinois' physical, bigger 6'6" guards. But then you have UConn Huskies team that could go Solo Ball to the bench, Silas Demery to the bench, Braylon Mullins in there, then put one of their forwards at the 2. Then they go Caravan, Terrace Reed, oh my gosh, what's the kid's name? Ross, and they could go with some of their forwards at the 2, 3, 4, or 2 and 3, and then Caravan, Reed at the 4 and 5 to match with size, or they could just go small and try to shoot 3 for 3 with this Illinois team, which I don't recommend unless Silas Demery is fully healthy, and spread them out. Go with Ball, Demery, Mullins, Caravan, Reed, and just try and spread them out and just out athletic them. That could be a recipe for disaster. It's just a crazy chess match between these two lineups, and I trust Danny Hurley in that chess match more than I trust Underwood. Also, Terrace Reed has been a beast on the glass. He's going to have to be that against the Ivisic twins. This Illinois team is top 3 in the country in offensive rebounding rate. Illinois' defense has also been lights out. UConn's offense has struggled, especially shooting the ball from beyond the perimeter. But I also think UConn is a way more athletically gifted team, and Caravan is a really versatile defender. He's 6'7". He's going to be, if he gets switched on to Wagler, that's like obviously Wagler's going to cook him, but that's not there's worse matchups to have. So UConn's ability to switch the 1 through 4 could be in play here with Illinois team if they want to go small and spread it out with Boswell, Davis, keep Stojakovic on the bench because he can't shoot the 3. Like, there's so much chess match stuff, so much gamesmanship that goes into this game. And I don't think Brad Underwood's incapable, but I do think I trust Dan Hurley way more of winning that chess match, winning that matchup, winning the matchup game, winning the gamesmanship, the semantics that go into who are you putting in, who are your matchups, what sets are you running. I trust Danny Hurley because he's 16-3 in March Madness, and Brad Underwood, this is the first time he's made it to the Final Four, and he's had some really, really good squads with Terrence Shannon. Oh my God, Aya DeSumo. Like, he's had some really, really good squads. He's done it, not to this level. He's never been in the Final Four. Dan Hurley's been in the Final Four 3 times the last 4 years. And this, like, leading up to it too, Hurley's done before. He knows how to prepare. All he does is win. And in a game that I think is going to be so dependent on the coaching, you gotta trust Hurley over Underwood. You got to. That being said, I trust Illinois' guard play way more than I trust UConn's guard play. But UConn's guard play hasn't been fully healthy, and Silas Demery, like I mentioned earlier in the episode, if you're listening on Spotify, 3rd in minutes for this UConn team in the regular season. He's averaging 22 minutes a game in March because of the injury. If he can get now to 100% and he's a 40% three-point shooter, he came in and banged those 2 threes from opposite corners against Duke to cut into that lead late in the second half. If he can be the guy he was in the regular season and give you that stable guard play, which you haven't gotten out of Solo Ball, you haven't gotten for a full 40-minute game in this tournament out of Braylon Mullins, then that would be huge for them. That would be the game. That's it. That's the game right there. But who knows what Silas Demery's status is going to be? Who knows what his minute restriction is going to be? And then who knows what Solo Ball is going to show up? Probably the one we've seen the last few games that's averaging 12% from the field or 12% from 3. I don't understand. He was a 40% three-point shooter last year. He's shooting less than 30% this year. I don't get it. He's been awful in the tournament. He's been bad defensively in the tournament. He might just need to sit on the fucking bench. RJ Lewis with St. John's type shit with Solo Ball. He's been awful, man. So it's very interesting to see. I think I trust Danny Hurley in the matchup here. Illinois is also a really, really good team on the glass, a better team than Duke is on the glass. And I'm curious, I didn't even look. What was the rebounding discrepancy in that Duke UConn game? Because they were dominating. What was it against Michigan State too? Like, they dominated UCLA, and obviously they dominated Furman on the glass. But what was the rebounding numbers against Michigan State? Michigan State had 39 rebounds. UConn had 30. So Michigan State, and they were a top 10 team in offensive and defensive rebounding percentage. So yeah, I mean that's huge. That is huge. But obviously, Karaban and Tarris Reed just carried it down the stretch, and Michigan State got off to that horrendously slow start. And then against Duke, what were the rebound numbers looking like? Probably should have prepared this before. I meant to do this, but I just forgot. UConn had 28, Duke had 34. So like UConn's been losing the rebounding battle the past 2 games, yet they've still been finding ways. And I think I might have looked at UConn completely wrong in their Big East play. I'm like, oh, they're barely skating by. I took that as, oh, they're weak. This isn't going to last against non-Big East play. Instead, it should have been, oh, they know how to win late games and they know how to operate in clutch scenarios. And then that's been true. The Michigan State game was down to the wire. Alex Karaban was clutch from three, clutch from the free throw line, and Tarris Reed was clutch in that game as well. And obviously, the Duke clutchness is unbelievable. So I like UConn against Illinois because of the matchups. Although I trust the guard play in Illinois way more. I trust the front court in UConn way more. I trust Dan Hurley more than Underwood. No disrespect to Brad Underwood. He's done a tremendous job. And then Arizona, Michigan. This is a tough game to pick, guys, because these two teams are so evenly matched down to the 3-point shooting percentage, where Michigan is 0.9 or 0.2% better from beyond the arc than Arizona is. Both teams are elite down low. I think Arizona and Michigan both top 10 in 2-point field goal percentage allowed, both top 5 in offensive and defensive efficiency per Torvik. They both have elite bigs, Krivas, Mara. That's an interesting matchup. Koa Pete, the 5-star freshman against the journeyman Yaxel, the Wooden Award finalist. Then you have the guards with Trey McKinney, the freshman Trey McKinney, against the freshman Braden Burries. And then you have the experienced Jaden Bradley against the experienced Elliot Cadeau. They are so evenly matched, but it comes down to one variable when picking this Arizona-Michigan game, and that is that I trust Jaden Bradley infinitely more than I trust Elliot Cadeau in a big game. Jaden Bradley, 27 against Florida, 21 against UConn. He had 17 against Houston at Houston when they were the number 2 ranked team in the country. He had the clutch shot against Iowa State. Had a few clutch shots against BYU where he had 26 in Provo while they still had Richie Saunders, where you have Elliot Cadeau on the other hand, who bad shooting performance against Michigan State late in the season, bad shooting performance against Duke. All of Michigan's guards, by the way, combined for like 4 for 16 against Duke, and that is Trey McKinney and Gale off the bench. So they could struggle. Michigan's guard have struggled against teams that have really good defense on the perimeter, and Arizona has that with Bradley, Burries, and the European whose name I'm not even going to try to attempt to pronounce, who locked up Milan Momcilovic in the regular season, even though we know Momcilovic went off in the Big 12 semifinal game that Jaden Bradley hit the clutch game winner in. So Arizona and Michigan are so evenly matched. You can't look over the Jaden Bradley versus Elliot Cadeau matchup. And Cadeau has some woes in big games. We saw it at UNC against Duke. He had a couple of bad shooting games. He had a bad shooting game against Duke. He wasn't good against Purdue in the Big Ten championship game shooting the basketball, although he did have 10 assists. It's just worth noting that Jaden Bradley is a big game riser. Elliot Cadeau might be a big game faller. I don't want to put that label on him. He's a good basketball player, but I like Jaden Bradley. I like Braden Burries more than Elliot Cadeau and Trey McKinney, and that is the difference in this game. Give me Arizona. That sets up Arizona, UConn, and this is where I'm done with Hurley. That's just that I like Hurley against Illinois because the matchup, there's a lot of chess there. Hurley could have the number 1 gamesmanship game in the history of gamesmanship in terms of matchups and outcoach Tommy Lloyd. It doesn't matter. Jaden Bradley's better than Solo Ball. Braden Burries is better than Braylon Mullins. Krivas is better than Tarris Reed, potentially. That's, I guess, a little bit debatable. Koa Pete's better than Karaban. I do not give a fuck. That guy is 25 years old. I don't care. Koa Pete's better than Karaban. Arizona is just better than UConn, and they would take a national championship home. Arizona, Michigan's the real national championship. This Final Four is going to be electric. I think both games are going to come right down to the wire. I'm done gambling, but I will sprinkle a little Arizona UConn underdog money line parlay because both of them are dogs. Give me the Wildcats. I'm more confident in Arizona winning than I am in UConn because, like I said, UConn's guard play really inconsistent. Illinois' guard play has been elite. Subscribe if you made it this far, man. I love you guys. I got a lot of NFL content coming, daily sports content. Make sure you like the video too if you made it this far. It helps it out. If you disagree with me, think I'm a clown, let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe button. I'll talk to y'all later.